We want to do a quick video on optimal weight. More specifically, instead of saying optimal weight, we should really say optimal body composition because weight can be very deceiving. You want to talk about that, Janet?
I do. So you can look thin but not have good muscle tone. You can be overweight and still have muscle tone. So let's kind of dig into that a little bit about composition, Shawn.
Yeah, so optimal body composition, really that means you want to stress lean body mass and have less body fat. So depending on our ages, there's an optimal range for body fat. And as we age, our body fat, at least normally, should go up, or we say it should. I will say this, other than being a very, very lean male teenager, where, you should be less than 10%, 5 to 10% body fat. After that, you can probably go up a couple percent, but don't believe the scales of body fat that, it's normal to have a body fat of, 25% when you're, 60 years old and you're a male. That's not healthy in my opinion. So I still think we should stress being less than 15% body fat our entire life as a male. Females have more body fat. And as they age, it goes up too. But there again, right, we don't necessarily just think it should be normal for our body fat to always go up.
And the reason it's so important is because abdominal fat, especially when it starts packing around our stomach area or abdominal area, is actually a sign for cardiovascular disease. The inflammation and the stress that it puts on the body is the problem.
The more body fat we have, especially visceral fat and abdominal fat, like right, Janet says, the visceral fat is the fat around our organs, the more risk we have for cardiovascular disease and all kinds of metabolic diseases. It's the most dangerous thing we can do as an American is to have excess body fat. So let's compare that to excess body weight. I use myself as an example. So if we use BMI, it's based on height and weight. My optimal BMI is 145 pounds. I am 175 pounds. That means I am 30 pounds overweight, yet my body fat is less than 10%. So you can't use BMI as a great metric to measure ideal body composition. Now, I will say this, there are some people that, like Janet said early on, that are skinny and they do have a good BMI, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're healthy. So it's important to have plenty of lean body mass. Sarcopenia is a real thing. Sarcopenia basically means as we age, we lose muscle. We don't have to. With proper resistance training, proper diet, nutrition, we can maintain good muscle mass, which is important to keep us healthy. Janet?
And women, don't forget that your muscle mass is just as important as a man, because as you age, if you don't maintain some of this muscle mass and keep moving, osteoporosis is a real issue. It's a game changer for anybody that has a broken bone while they're an elderly person. So don't fool yourself. That muscle mass is super important.
And as well as it is bone health for men also.
As well.
And resistance training, proper diet is important to maintain strong bones for men too, because men can get osteoporosis also. So what are some ways we can measure ideal body composition? There are a few different ways. We'll go over them really fast. To measure body fat, first of all, the mirror. I mean, you can look in the mirror and if you're carrying extra body fat. And whether you're a male or a female, you should have some kind of definition in your abdominal region. If you cannot see, especially your higher external obliques or your higher rectus abdominis muscles, then you probably are carrying around too much body fat. And that goes for men and for women. You should be able to see those muscles. And diet is where you get those. You don't get those in the gym unnecessarily. You get those in the kitchen. Abs are made in the kitchen. So how else can we measure it? Dunk tank method. You blow out all your air, you go into a dunk tank, and they estimate your body fat based on, because fat floats better than muscle mass and bones. So, but that's an estimate also, because you can't always get out all your residual air. Another way is your waist versus your height. Your waist should be half your height. So if you're 60 inches, which is just 5 foot, your waist should be 30 inches or less. What's some other ways? Pinch caliber method. You can use to pinch underneath your armpit, on your and on your abdominal area, and a little bit of your buttocks, depending on the method that they use. And that's going to measure sub-Q fat, which is the most important fat for looks, at least. And that also is an estimate. It's not perfect. None of these methods are perfect for measuring body composition. You can also use the electronic impedance method. Tanita body weight scale has some of these. They're also an estimation, but that's also some methods. You can use those as tools, use them as relative numbers, and just progress from there. It's like weight on a scale. If you want to lose weight, it doesn't matter what you start at necessarily. Are you progressing? So, Janet, how do you want to end this topic?
Well, first of all, no one is perfect, but the whole idea of doing something like this and keeping this in mind is having a wellness goal. And we all have to work towards that if we want to maintain health. So, if it's upsetting to you, set a goal and set a small goal. And once you've achieved it, then you can work towards another one. So all these methods are tools, and they're to encourage you to take it into your own hands and take control. Because if we don't do something today, tomorrow, it might be too late.
That's right. And remember, the most dangerous thing that we can do as an American is to be overweight.
That's right.
Which usually means excess body fat, because cardiovascular disease related to obesity kills more Americans than anything.